Alright, we're back with Disco Elysium. Last time we conceptualized of a tea so strong that it, just thinking about it, cured us somehow. So that's pretty sick. Today we also got a map yesterday, I guess probably is the more important thing. So today we're gonna be you see the map, sorry, my brain is on fire. The map shows like checks we can do. So we may as well, like, I feel like try a bunch of them. Like we can try the white checks. One of them I'm just noticing is the mirror. I think that's the one in my room, right? I should have checked it upstairs. Can I get in my room or do I need to pay guard again? Alright, not locked out just yet.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face. Now without the expression. It's just hairy.
It's just hairy. Is that foreshadowing? Let's try the encyclopedia check. I mean, it's better than 50 and I failed.
It comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
I should wait until I get the chain cutters. So mirror failed. There's a joyce check we can do. I don't know whether or not closing the door is a good idea. Like, I assume if guard locks me out, my voice just did something weird. I assume if guard's gonna lock me out, he can just, do that. Whether or not I leave my door open. So next, I know I should maybe, like, tackle on all the checks in, like, some sort of order. By, like, how easy they are to get to, like, one after the other, but I'm not going to. That's not my style, you know? We're gonna do the joyce check now. Also the whole day-night cycle thing going on here is really cool. I like that. Hey Joyce, I got some check to do with you.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Okay, this is the check. I'm thinking good odds.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What am I asking?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough.
What montage?
There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. Elysium. It does.
That's good.
There are those who would call it hell.
Is that where the title Disco Elysium comes
from? A
from?
term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the petro-fascists. Oh,
what is that?
you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revichol-Grad.
I'm assuming it's like an oblate spheroid, you mean, and not like the world is flat in this game?
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona. Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
What is pale?
Cold fear seeps into you.
You seem to be spooked.
What is this?
Please don't be.
What
They
is
say
the
there is a
pale?
rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides.
Yeah, okay, this is the important question from like my book.
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality. Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. No, detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer. An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse.
This got really weird in the sci-fi all of a sudden, and I'm here for it.
Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
That's what I was
It
wondering.
is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds, Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged. Extensively. Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
Who says and who argues?
The
That's
logical
a good point.
positivists say,
Oh, sorry,
the
that was my...
dialectical materialists argue.
I just bumped my mic in a really weird way. Like I turned my chair and it hit some weird stand. It was the whole thing. It probably sounded really bad, and I'm sorry about that.
It feels
My speech is
terrible.
falling apart too.
Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. Some degraded early memories. Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the plow driver about this. See
That's what I was
she says.
thinking. Shit.
That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gills, officer. Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
They had not traveled the entire circumference of the Pericarnassian Super E-Solar. It was not merely in the west, it was everywhere, even then, surrounding them.
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you cross from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely. Then they don't. The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, detective?
I'm gonna try to be optimistic, although I don't think it's right.
Oh no, detective. It's not. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
Let's be more
Most
like...
people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say Pale is death. but for the universe.
I think I'm guessing this is kind of like a climate change metaphor. Like, the idea is that no one in here, like, at the moment is probably going to suffer from the total envelopment of the Pale, but it's
Why should we just
gonna
leave
happen.
and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, Detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Let's just go like that.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
Yeah, I can
I
deal
hope
with
so.
it.
I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. Glad to have been of assistance.
Well,
The little that I know. Anything else?
I didn't expect that to take up a full... Okay, we've got an autosave after that too. I didn't expect that to be as, like, much of a thing as it was. But it sure was a thing. Oh, okay, I didn't know that we were supposed to do that without Kim, but we did it. Kim never even got a chance to, like, tell me not to do it. We will... I think we should do another thought too, now that we've got 3. I don't know why having like 3 skill points is my thing, but which one did we go for? I'm gonna unlock this one, yeah. And I don't know, I'm thinking either Kotamamdakwa or the 15th in the tribe. I guess, yeah, we'll go Kotamamdakwa. Because it's got the longer research time, so I'm hoping it's the more, like, reporting one, logically. And we will manually save here as our bookend, and we will call it a day. I didn't talk a whole lot in this one either, too. I know that's the thing. I mean, that's kind of how this game goes. Like I said, I'm more aiming this channel to, like, catalog games and how I play them rather than, like, provide an active, like, super interesting experience for the viewers. Maybe that's a mistake, but I don't know. Whatever.